My half-sister planned to show up to my engagement party in a wedding dress to upstage me. So I turned it into a costume party at the last minute. She was furious when her bridal look became just another outfit in the crowd. Everything started like a slow burn. Heather and I had never really gotten along, but I don't think I ever fully realized how toxic things were until that moment. When my fiancé and I got engaged, I wanted everything to be perfect. And I mean everything. The engagement party, the invitations, the little details, it was going to be a celebration that reflected us. But of course, Heather had her own ideas about that, and that's when things went from simple family drama to full-on absurdity. To understand why this whole thing mattered so much, you have to know a bit about Heather. She was the kind of person who always had to one-up me. Our parents, for reasons I'll never fully grasp, seemed to believe that this rivalry was some harmless thing. But it wasn't. It was exhausting. From the moment I could remember, everything was a competition. And it didn't matter that we both came from the same middle-class background. For her, it was about being the center of attention. If I got praised for something, she'd somehow manage to get more praise for something far less significant. My father left my mom when I was younger. He'd gone off to marry Heather's mother, and though I was young, the ripple effect of that split lasted for years. Heather and I were born within 20 days of each other, both of us 24 now, but it still felt like a strange cosmic coincidence rather than something joyful. Heather's mom never missed a chance to make it clear she didn't like me. And Heather? Well, she seemed to feed off the tension. Her life was all about upstaging me. If I wore a nice dress to a family event, she wore something more extravagant. If I bought a new car, she showed up in a model that was one step up. It was small things, but they added up over the years. Fast forward to when my fiancé proposed, and we started planning our engagement party. It was supposed to be a casual yet formal affair. Think elegant but not too extravagant. We wanted to celebrate with our close family and friends with no drama. Just a nice evening. But then my cousin reached out to me. She had caught wind of something I hadn't seen coming. Heather had bought a wedding dress. Not just any wedding dress either. The kind of dress you'd expect to see on a runway, dripping with crystals, golden accents, and all the frills you'd associate with the most opulent wedding imaginable. And to make it even worse, Heather was planning to wear it to my engagement party. At first I was furious. The audacity. It was one thing if she wanted to upstage me at some random gathering, but this was my moment. My engagement. She was going to take that away from me. The thought of her parading around in a wedding dress while everyone else was dressed casually was maddening. But then a thought hit me like a lightning bolt. What if I took control of the situation? I decided to change the game. I reached out to everyone on the guest list, family, friends, anyone who'd be attending, and I told them there had been a last-minute shift in the theme. It was no longer a formal event. No, it was now a costume party. The idea, though, wasn't just about me having a laugh. It was about taking Heather's attempt to steal the spotlight and making her look foolish. I knew that, with my family's love of Halloween and all things quirky, they'd jump at the chance to get creative with costumes. They wouldn't question it for a second. I didn't even need to ask them twice. But Heather? She wouldn't see it coming. I was fully aware of what would happen. My father, as always, would forget to tell Heather and her mother about the costume party. I didn't bother texting them directly. I knew it would cause more drama if I did. I figured I'd let them arrive late and see the chaos for themselves. The day of the party arrived and everything fell into place. Guests showed up in costumes that ranged from wildly elaborate to delightfully simple. Some of them, pressed for time, wore cheap wigs or fun hats, but everyone was in the spirit. The atmosphere was light, relaxed, and exactly what I wanted. An evening of fun with no room for drama. And then, about an hour late, Heather and her entourage arrived. She stood in the doorway, her mouth falling open as she took in the sight of people in elaborate costumes, strange accessories, and goofy wigs. She was still in her wedding dress, looking like she had walked straight out of a bridal magazine, while the rest of us had turned the event into something completely unexpected. My fiancé, dressed as Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, walked up to her, his face a mix of amusement and sympathy, and casually remarked that her bride look was a great costume. It was the perfect moment. The change in Heather's expression was instant. She looked like she might explode, but instead she turned on her heel and stormed out, her mother and my father trailing behind her, unsure of what had just happened. As I watched them leave, I didn't feel an ounce of regret. It wasn't about ruining her night. It was about ensuring that her attempt to take the spotlight away from me failed. And it did, spectacularly. But, of course, my father wasn't pleased with how things had unfolded. He thought I should have been the bigger person. He said I should have talked to Heather myself instead of sending him to do it. He didn't get it though. He never did. Heather had been sabotaging every important moment of my life for as long as I could remember, and this was no different. He always took her side even if he didn't say it outright. So, I did what I had to do. I cut them all out. That decision wasn't easy, but I don't think I realized how freeing it would be until it happened. No more trying to please a man who would never choose me over the woman who had essentially ruined my relationship with him. No more pretending that Heather's behavior was anything but a constant thorn in my side. Months passed. The wedding came and I felt a sense of calm that I hadn't felt in years. My father wasn't there, but the people who truly mattered were. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel like I had to fight for attention. The day went smoothly. There was no drama. It was perfect. And after the wedding, the bizarre aftermath started. Heather tried to send me a cease and desist letter, something she had clearly copied off Google. My stepmother showed up at the supermarket, harassing me to apologize to Heather. My father even tried to corner me at work, walking beside me as I went to my car, telling me I should be the bigger person. I just told him he must have been mistaken because my father was dead to me. Then I drove off. Things only got stranger. Heather and her mother tried to turn the rest of the family against me. But instead of isolating me, it only isolated them. Family events became less awkward without their presence, and the extended family rallied around me. And my life, it improved. Drastically. I hadn't realized how much I had been holding myself back, trying to maintain a relationship with people who didn't care about me. After going no contact, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. The wedding was beautiful. Our marriage was solid. And the best part? No more drama. No more Heather. Looking back, I think I wish I'd done it sooner. I wish I'd been stronger sooner. But at least in the end I won. And I didn't just win for me. I won for my future, for my fiancé, and for everyone who truly loved me without drama. The family dynamic is broken now. Heather and her mother were finally excluded from things. They can't use the family cabin anymore, and apparently Heather's mom hasn't spoken to her sister since everything fell apart. Some of the gossip is exaggerated, sure, but at this point I don't care. My life is peaceful. I'm happy. I don't miss the drama and I don't miss them.